Since learning objectives form the core of a design, let's take our discussion a bit deeper. In some designs, all that is needed are the terminal objectives that detail what the learner is expected to do, know, and/or feel at the end of a learning experience. In more complex designs, getting to the final objective may require building in smaller learning steps by scaffolding the learning through enabling objectives. Enabling objectives are any supporting knowledge, skills, and/or attitudes that must be mastered to successfully meet the terminal objective. Enabling objectives may emerge from the initial content analysis or by breaking down final objectives into specific, manageable, and measurable learning tasks that also require mastery to ensure a successful overall learning experience. A solid knowledge of the key learning tasks and a thoughtful analysis of terminal objectives helps make this process smoother. But as is the case during any design process, it's often iterative. Enabling objectives help us, as learning facilitators, better track learner performance along the way, so there are no surprises at the end of a learning experience. Consider a few examples. For instance, if the terminal objective involves piloting a plane's successful takeoff and landing, enabling objectives might include a subset of tasks that also require mastery, such as describing both processes, understanding sequences, or demonstrating competency, application of skills using a flight simulator. Next, consider a course in financial literacy for high school students. If the terminal objective requires successfully balancing a checkbook, application of knowledge, then an enabling objective might include discussing the difference between credits and debits, or understanding key ideas. Enabling objectives ensure that specific KSAs are mastered along the way, so the terminal objectives can be successfully met. They can be visible or invisible to learners. A visible enabling objective may manifest in a skills checklist that requires learners to meet specific competencies on their journey to the terminal objective. For example, mastering the process of changing the oil when taking a car mechanics course. When learning objectives are invisible, learning facilitators can use enabling objectives to ensure that all supporting KSAs are included in the learning process. However, they are integrated into a lesson plan as key learning strategies, rather than being visible to learners. A final example shown here is focused on creating learning objectives. Incorporating enabling objectives, either visibly or invisibly, in the course design clarifies the skill building blocks required to aid learners in mastering the terminal objective. In this case, learners must understand the terminology related to learning objectives, identify key learning tasks, and then classify them into KSAs. Determine which KSAs inform terminal objectives, and practice writing objectives in a long form ABCD format. This process could be shared with learners through formal enabling objectives that measure mastery through quizzes or checklists, or be incorporated less visibly through a series of informal strategy steps embedded in the lesson plan, followed by a formal assessment of the terminal objectives. These are some of the many design decisions that instructors make based on their expert knowledge of their learners, content, and learning context.